Good morning, my friends, or good afternoon, or whatever time it is if you're watching or listening later on replay. Welcome here. My OGs, by the way, the folks that have been with me for a long time with Wicked Radio and the podcast. You noticed something yesterday. Now, I talked about the Brown University story a lot last week, obviously. I intentionally did not talk about it yesterday because I'm like you. You know, I get that sense for what people want to listen to. You're tired of it. I was tired of the story, too, and I figured, all right, it's pretty much wrapped up. We get the details of the story. No need to talk about it. So I kind of shelved that yesterday. Oh, boy. Did that get 1,000 times worse. Now, I say worse as far as the negligence up there, but it's actually a great story, and it's a great thing with the pushback that's happening. First of all, we get this information now. People are more aware of it. Because it wasn't that long ago. People in, I don't know, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Texas, California, didn't care too much about Brown University or a small state like Rhode Island or what's going on there, unless your kid was going to school there or you're an alum, whatever. Now people are so aware because we get so much information these days and all these stories are localized. We're all aware of them now, right? Now people know and are more aware with all this information. And now people are pushing back because they know what to do about it. Remember, it wasn't too long ago. You probably grew up like I did, and you think of Ivy League universities as an example for an institution. And it would be like, the elites. They have the smartest people in the world there. You can't push back. They're untouchable. No, they're not. And that is what we're learning in real time right now, and it's fantastic. Now, for you new folks, and there's been a lot of you joining along here with the podcast this past month. First of all, thanks for being here. Here's how it works. The live stream, Wicked Radio, is live Eastern Time, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, and then it lives on as a replay on X. Put your notifications on, and on Facebook and YouTube, and clips on there as well in the audio podcast. So thanks for finding me. Now, we're going to talk about the Brown University story now on the timeline. But what's actually great about this? Now, let's go backwards now. Remember I talked about shelving this story yesterday? I had this loaded up. I had this clip ready to go because it was from the weekend, but I shelved it because I thought, story's done. Nobody needs to hear about this anymore. Let's move on to other stuff. Keep this in mind when we talk about what is going on at Brown University now and the pushback that's actually happening from the entire country. Not just isolated little New England town, okay? Keep this in mind. And again, I had this ready to go yesterday. Now, this was from the weekend. This was Providence College. Big basketball school, okay? So the mayor, what's his name? Twinkles, Smiley, whatever the hell his name is. And the police chief of Providence did a little victory lap. And they were getting applauded everywhere they went. And keep that all in mind when we talk about the developments in the story now. But this was Providence College. This was over the weekend. Them taking a victory lap and accepting all these cheers from the people in the crowd. Keep this in mind. Put them on the Jumbotron, and they're all accepting, on this. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, they're at the game, and they put them on the Jumbotron. What are they supposed to do? The reason why they were both there at that game in a public setting, it doesn't happen with public officials. In their town in Providence. Biggest thing that was going on over the weekend was what they have, Providence College, and going there and, showing up together for a very specific public relations reason. That's what, and of course they told them they were going to put them on the Jumbotron. And of course they're taking a victory lap. And of course what we know now is, trying to deflect from the damage that they knew was coming. All right, now let's catch up. We all know about the Brown University shooter. There were warning signs we heard. The security cameras were taken down. We know that as fact now. That happened over the summer. So that's why it took so long to find the suspect, right? Now we know this. A hero, and I mean the word hero, and I'll explain why in a second here. A hero custodian, a guy that works at Brown, has come out and has exposed all of these corrupt crooks because he warned them about this shooter. He tried to tell them a long time ago. He knew all it was pushing back against the guy, was exposing the guy, knew exactly what was happening, and did the right thing and told his higher-ups about it. What was he met with? Don't talk about that. It's not our job. Just clean the halls. Here's the kid, guy. His name is Derek Lisi. Here's him telling the story, and he's finally coming out now, and this is very, very important to the story.
And I had said to him, I had caught him the last time on December 1st, and I was right behind him as he was coming in the building. I was coming back from my break, and I went right to the ESS staff, and I had said to the ESS staff member, I said, hey, this guy looks suspicious. I said, he just went in the bathroom. I said, you should go check him out. He's like, I'm not here for that.
Okay. So now you have somebody that actually works at the university, who's there, who sees a creepy character, a basic suspect he knew was up to no good, had seen him multiple times, and he told his supervisors what was going on, and they completely ignored him. That's step one. Actually, step two, because we know the security cameras were taken down, and we know the tragic result of students getting shot. There's murder involved here. And we also know now, before all of this stuff happened, after this in the timeline, an MIT professor was shot by the very same guy. We got people alive, not alive now, that could have been if people did their jobs. This is why, and I want to give you the update here and what's going on here. So here's the other update besides that hero security guard. Again, a hero. I'll tell you why I think he's a hero in just a second. Brown University under federal investigation now. Oh, for failing to act on warning signs by Derek Lisi, the hero. Prior to the campus shooting and the response following the tragedy. Apparently, this is a press release. U.S. Department of Education announces review of Brown University for potential Clery Act violations. Okay. Also there's another update for you. This is why the story got big again and why it matters. DEI police chief of Brown University has just been, now this isn't the Providence cop. This is the guy that ignored the warning signs of Brown University has just been placed on leave after failing to act on the dozens of alerts from Derek Lisi. Oh, okay. Why do I think Derek Lisi, the custodian, is a hero? Well, why is he a hero? He's coming out now after the fact, saying that he was exposing. No. Let's look back for a second and talk about one of these Ivy League universities and the power that they hold, at least as of right now. Brown University. Now, who comes out of Brown University and Ivy League? Very well respected in academia, Ivy League, right? You know who comes out of there? Attorneys, prosecutors, attorneys general, business leaders, politicians, people in power who often stay in that local community. Let me just throw this out to you. This isn't happening. I'm just throwing it out as an example on why it's heroic for Derek Lisi to come out and expose this now and say that I warned them. If he had come out before, what are the possibilities? Lives in Providence, I'm sure. You know, he's a custodian. He's not making a ton of money. Just consider the possibility, because this kind of crap actually happens in real life. It does. Trust me on this one. If he came out and exposed very powerful people at Brown University, a very, very, very powerful Ivy League university, you think maybe would have randomly gotten some traffic tickets they didn't expect? You think maybe Derek, if he had come out before all this happened, would have had some pressure put on him? Maybe he's got a project he's working on at the house. He's finishing up his basement. You think maybe his project would have been delayed or gotten some fines that came out of nowhere? You think maybe he would have gotten some calls in the middle of the night from people talking about his family members or what? I'm not saying any of this happened. I'm saying it happens in real life when you start to mess with the people who hold the cards of power, especially in a town like that, because that kind of crap happens. Despite all that, he came out, he exposed as much as he could, and now finally the local media there and now the national media is talking to him because he is a hero who talked about him trying to warn that university about a potential bad guy. Because they ignored him, people died. A few people died. And some are still in the hospital in critical condition. I'm telling you now, as I sit here on this bar stool, if my kid had been shot like those kids were at Brown because of this guy, and I found out that this was complete and total negligence, which it looks like it is, I would not I don't know about you. Everybody has to make their own personal decisions. I would put everything on my life in hold and go after everything they are. I would make sure. We learned also throughout this process they've got an $8 billion endowment. I don't know. You're fighting City Hall. You're fighting a university, but I would dedicate my life to try to take that away somehow, some way. I mean, and if I was a spouse or a family member of the MIT professor who was killed also as a result of them not doing their job and complete and total negligence and corruption and cover-ups and taking the security cameras down over the summer, caving to civil rights groups, I would not. This would be my life's mission to go after them with everything I had legally. And apparently, other people feel the same. Here's the next development of the story. So you got to figure with this kind of gross negligence, you've got proof now. The security cameras were taken down. You've got a custodian who warned them multiple times, many, many, many dozens of times about a bad person on camera on campus. They didn't do anything to protect those kids. You've also got, by the way, let's throw this in there too, current Brown University students are telling them security sucks. They don't do anything for security at our school because we're Brown. Nothing happens here. Well, because of all this, they have, as you can imagine, lawyered up, as you'd figure they would.
And Brown University has faced a lot of backlash and criticism for their lack of cameras and also security. We have learned that the university has lawyered up. They have retained the former U.S. Attorney for the District of Rhode Island, Zachary Cunha. Brett.
You don't say. Now, again, remember that clip I played you of Mayor Twinkly Smiley, whatever the hell he is, and the police chief of Rhode Island taking the victory lap at Providence College as the crowd cheered for them and took it. They knew all this was going on when that happened, and they knew the city and the state and Brown were lawyering up because everybody's going to go after them. They knew it the whole time. That's why this timeline is important. This is an amazing, amazing story because it's gone from, wow, that was a terrible shooting at an Ivy League school to now, because we have all this information with us every single day, now the entire country being aware of a story like that. Because I'm telling you, if this was even 6 years ago, 5 years ago, or we didn't have online outlets like X and even what you see on things like Facebook and YouTube, all of this, this would have been one quick little headline about another tragic shooting. They push for gun laws, blah, 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 and that's it. No. Because we have access to information now, it's taken a step further. Now people push back and they want answers. And they're starting to realize, you got to look at the big picture, is what we do. Now you're starting to realize that Americans, everyday citizens and patriots, understand that all of this corruption, all of this absolute negligence, all of this nonsense that's happening in every institution we have, you can push back. They're not untouchable. And the only reason why that university, as the news report just said there, as the anchor just said, is lawyering up is because people are demanding it now. That's different. This is how you fix the corruption. And it's a great, great thing. So get out of this mindset of thinking that these institutions are untouchable. First of all, the horrible thing is you realize how incompetent, absolute incompetent negligence gets people killed. You realize that. But then you start to demand and do something about it. And I venture to guess that there are going to be a lot of alumni from Brown University who are demanding changes at this place. I mean, you would think they should. You've got a police chief on leave now. They're lawyering up. They're being investigated by the Department of Education now. This is how change happens. And it wasn't always like this. That's the great thing. So even though this story got about 1,000 times worse than what we're learning, thanks to that hero whistleblower, the great news and the takeaway is the pushback. Ever take this crap from these people. And you can imagine how many institutions are just like this, but people don't put up with it anymore. And it starts with getting the information. All right, let's jump back into the news for a quick second. What else is going on throughout the country? This one is based out of California, but it might give you a little ammunition in your argument with people, if you care, who are telling you that deportations are all bad. Well, what if you frame it this way? They're making you safer. Here's what just happened with some commercial truck drivers. That's been a big story with the immigration story.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement have arrested 101 illegal alien semi-truck drivers and seized their commercial driver's licenses in a California operation called Operation Highway Sentinel. Most of the arrests took place on highways and ports throughout the state. Democratic California Governor Gavin Newsom has rejected the Trump administration's effort to arrest illegal migrant truck drivers.
Illegal. As we know here, we've seen two massive cases of one was here in Florida. The other one was in, I think it was California, or it might have been Arizona. Illegal truck drivers who could not read the road signs, making illegal U-turns and getting families killed. We've seen two examples of that. And now they're deporting truck drivers who should not have gotten licenses regardless, and they're deporting them right away. So next time you're actually approached with this argument that it's just wrong, there's just people trying to make a living. How about if you frame it this way? Well, they're deporting some illegal truck drivers who were making the roads very unsafe and they could have killed your family. That's how I pose it, but that's just me. Everybody's individual choice. Let's wrap this up with some great news. This is truly what it's like. Now, with all this information I was talking about that we're bombarded with every single day, all these news stories, because we're so much better informed these days, doesn't mean we have any common sense, and that can be a little bit dangerous sometimes. But it's important to realize, with all this information, what really the good stuff is, what really America's all about. Is the majority of America like what happened at Brown? No. Is the majority of America illegal truck drivers? No. Most of America, at least the America I know, is about this. I'm going to give you a feel-good story out of North Carolina. I don't know which city or which county, but it is North Carolina. And it it focuses on a lady named Nana Abernathy. More on her in a second. But the real hero in this one is Paul Britton. He owns Britton Tree Care. Now, apparently, as the story goes, and this video has gone viral, which is great. I love when stories like this go viral, especially around the holidays. Nana Abernathy had reached out to Paul Britton, his tree care company, basically begging. Winter's coming up. It's already cold. Not coming up. It's here for them. I tend to forget because I'm in Florida. She basically has no firewood to keep warm. Well, Paul Britton found out about that. And he said, you're not going to go cold on my watch. And this is how the video went, as he's delivering a beautiful, giant truckload of wood to her home. And it went like this.
This is Nana Abernathy. I was going to let you know that we're going to give you this load of wood for free. I ain't coming back for no money.
You ain't going to...
I ain't going to charge you. I'm going to let you have it for free.
Thank you.
I know you said that you was having a rough time, and that's what we try to do. We try to help people out, and I wanted to bless you before Christmas, and we're not coming back for no money.
That's the nicest Christmas present I could get.
It's all for you. Can I get a hug?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great Christmas and a great holiday, and I hope the Lord blesses you.
Okay.
Okay? You have a
He
good
just
evening.
did.
He just did. That's right.
Thank you.
Yep. I'll get you took care of, and we'll get this dumped out right here for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You have a great. It's a beautiful load of wood right there. It's cut pretty small too. That way she can handle it nice and be easy on her.
That's a hero. That to me, despite all these. Now, it's important to be aware of all these stories that come out every single day. Of course, you got to be aware. But keep in mind, that's what we're all about. That's what we're really all about. That's the true America right there. I love it. Paul Britton. Britton Tree Care, North Carolina. Nana Abernathy. Not going cold on my watch. God love it. It's a great feel-good story. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, newcomers to the show, thanks for being here. Put your notifications on. Live stream Wicked Radio every single day, well, Monday through Friday anyway, at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on X and on Facebook and YouTube. Put your notifications on. Then it lives on as a replay on all those channels, as well as the audio podcast, wherever you like to get those. Thanks for hanging out with me, as always. And actually clips on, I don't know if you venture over to TikTok every once in a while. Interesting place. But I put clips from the show as well on TikTok, and interesting. I never expected that to go so well, but it is, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But bottom line is, wherever you want to go, you can find me. The takeaway, it doesn't matter how big the institution, or if you think these people are untouchable, the pushback is happening for real now, like with Brown University, and it's fantastic. And that only happens if people have had enough. It's not just dealing with the news that comes at you. It's what you're going to do about it. That's what it's all about. Thanks for hanging out with me. As always, I appreciate you. Make it a wicked awesome Tuesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.